Okay. All right, everyone. Welcome to our call tonight. It is October 21st, and we have a dear friend of mine, Stacey Stevens, on. I've known her family since we moved to Burton when I went to kindergarten. Um, Her mom was kind of the chair coordinator and the librarian, and she was a big part of my life and just helping me through high school. Stacey and Sam, her brother, were real close to me, and then she has an older sister, Danielle. And then when I moved back to Brenham after college, I walked into the doors of Bluebell Ice Cream, and who did I see but Miss Stevens, Stacey's mom. And she welcomed me with open arms and helped me with the transition of coming back into a community that I had moved away from with a family and newborns, and Ben had lost his job, and I mean, it was just, our world was falling apart. And your family just lifted me up. And Stacey, I mean, the Stevens have always been someone that you can just go to, and you don't even have to talk. You can just like sit in a room with anyone. You can just sit and you just feel better at the end of like the 5 minutes or 30 minutes or however long. And Stacey and I just recently got together again because she's back in Washington County. And she is a personal trainer, a body architect, a life coach, just a spiritual sharer. I mean, it just oozes from her. And so we had lunch and just kind of talked about the difficulties that come with starting your own business. We cried and we talked.
Yeah.
And we talked. And I was like, I need you to just talk to my team, you know, and just share your awesomeness. And so I invited her to share her heart, and she said, absolutely. And I just want to welcome you to this call, and thank you so much for sharing your night with us.
That's so sweet. Thank you. It's sweet of you. I wanted to start meeting everybody that's on here, I think, first.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. So we'll start with Lindsay, because I see you in the top corner. Oh, you're muted.
Because my headphones are
Oh.
scary. Okay. Hi, Stacey.
Hi.
I'm Lindsay. I normally wear a side ponytail. I just blend in with my son. I know Chris. I actually grew up with her husband, Ben. So Ben and I go way back. And so Chris and I go way back I met her at the Brookshires. I don't know, 2001, 2002 maybe, and told Ben that he could never marry anyone that had a laugh like Chris's, or I would not be his friend. So, yeah. So that's the first time I met Chris. But we were involved in each other's weddings, and here we are. So, nice to meet you. Thank you for being on tonight.
Yes, nice to meet you.
Go, Ashley.
Ashley?
I'm Ashley. I've known of Chris. I went to Brenham schools and she went to Burton. And she like hounded me in January to do the 21-day fix. Like hounded. But she changed me for the better, and I couldn't.
Aww.
Yeah, she did. Big time. I haven't ever been overweight. So I pretty much just ate whatever and anything. Like I was a McDonald's junkie, and we have a McDonald's across the street now, and I haven't even visited it. So it's been good.
Nice. That's awesome. And you feel better, huh?
Uh-huh. Yes.
So good. Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Angelita?
Hi, I'm Angela. I know Chris through Lindsay, really. But I did do a little bit of growing up with Ben's brother, because he was in the same class as me in high school. And their stepmom was my teacher. Hi, yes. And Lindsay and I went to high school together, and then just got back up last year. It's going to be about January of this year. So when I was just thinking this in the shower tonight, in January, it'll be a year for me since I like started to kind of move towards clean eating and working out and all that. So, yeah.
So you said a year now?
Yeah, in January it will be.
Okay. Okay. Oh, that's awesome. That's exciting.
Yeah. So thanks for being here.
Yeah. And Erin, are you on? Are you on your phone?
I'm driving home. Yes. I'm here. So we're supposed to talk about how we know?
Well, just introduce yourself.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
I actually worked with Chris a long time ago at Brookshire Brothers. And
Okay.
I worked with her sister at the vet clinic.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I've always been in the fitness, running, working out, and I was eyeing a 21-day fix for a long time and drinking the Shakeology, and then I just said, I'm going to just do this. So
That's awesome.
Here we are.
That's amazing.
And then we have an outsider, someone I've never met before. Her name's Brittany Courthour.
Hi, Stacey.
Oh my gosh! Hi.
Yeah, well, you know all about me, and I know both of you, so
Yeah.
from Burton, still together.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
it's so good to hear your voice.
So, do I need to introduce myself anymore? I'm new to the Beachbody coaching.
Okay.
I've been doing 21 day. I did the 21 day fix probably over a year ago, and have been doing it along with many other Beachbody programs, and just recently became a coach. And probably about 3 or 4 months ago, started getting really big into the Shakeology. So
Okay.
that's about it.
That's awesome. That's exciting.
Yeah.
And
That's our group for right now.
okay. That's amazing. What a good group. Everybody has such a good positive energy. I love it. Okay. So I know everybody's driving. I know y'all got kids. I know it's late. I know it was probably a long day for a lot of y'all. I want everyone to either grab a piece of paper, or if you're driving, probably don't grab a piece of paper. you just be safe over there. How about that? Be focused. Grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, and we're going to start off by writing down everything that you're carrying right now. I want you to write down anything that you fear and anything that you're carrying, any weight that you might feel on you. Write it down. It can be anything from a relationship to work to momhood to family, goals, dreams. Nobody's going to see it. This is you. Health issues, anything that, feels heavy on you, heavy on your chest, heavy on your mind. I'm going to write some down. You could be like, I don't know if this girl's going to drive me crazy or not. Whatever's freaking you out right now. I may hate her. It's totally fine. Write it down. And y'all keep writing. I'm just going to talk. One of the things that I learned, my degree is in corporate communications, and so I learned a lot about how to speak. I learned a lot about public speaking, but one of the things I was never taught was how to listen. And when I joined a consulting company a couple years ago, and one of the things that we were taught was it's a tool. It's how to listen to people. and not listen with an objective, not listen with an agenda, not listen with an insecurity or with anything that how you talking would affect me, you know? And so for 6 months, when we had a client for 6 months, we were told, we give no advice. We literally don't give any advice. We don't put our agenda on anybody. We don't put our thoughts in. We literally were taught how to listen, how to mirror, how to validate what the person was saying, any fears, anything. So when I would walk into a meeting, I worked with Chevron and BP, executive and above. So some of the VPs that were working on global drilling stuff. So I'm walking in there and these guys, and so in order to gain their trust, I don't walk in there and tell you how to do something that you've been doing your oil industry for 20 some odd years. And I'm 31, so I can't walk in there and tell you how to run your business. That's not my goal. My goal is to help you run your business. It's to help you be you enough and to grab whatever's inside of you and listen long enough to where you hear yourself, basically, because everyone has in them everything that they ever need. Everybody. You're learning from experiences, from your life, from past things, from goals that you have, from challenges, from tears at night, from prayers that you haven't stopped praying for years. So I had you write down some of your fears. I would do this before every meeting because I want you to grab that piece of paper. All right, write down all the fears, all the challenges, anything, whatever's going on, and I want you to just set it aside because at this moment, they don't exist. Just for right now, just for this time being, they're not going to exist for a minute because those can be a block. They can be a hindrance, and they are heavy. I mean, everybody goes through stuff. When you start a business, as all of y'all know, it's emotional. You're giving your guts, you're pouring out to people, and a lot of you I see are moms and probably wives, and you've got families, and you feel like you're carrying all this stuff, and that's heavy. It's a lot, and then you're trying to be yourself and run this business and do stuff for other people and change lives. You're changing lives right now, you guys. Even if you feel like you only have one person that you're helping, that one person is so important. Like, you're changing a world with that one person. With every person that you meet, every person that you touch, that's a world. That's a whole world that you are interacting with and that you are literally changing. And that's so important. And it can be heavy and it can be emotional. Chris and I, when we first met for lunch the other day, we were both just like, did you ever think it would be so emotional to do what you've always dreamed of doing, or even jump into something new, even if you never thought that this would be you, or you didn't think this would be your avenue? Did you ever think it would be so emotional just to even try something new, maybe jump out of your comfort zone a little bit and try something? So anyways, going back to the listening and stuff, that is to gain trust. So it's a little different for me coming in and talking to you guys because I'm just me. You know what I mean? Like, y'all don't know me really. Anything that I say could, it could validate or could be whatever, you wasted my time or whatever. So I'm not coming here trying to tell you how to run your business, or, I don't know how to do that because you guys do. My goal is to remind you how important you are. My goal is more to remind you that you're amazing already, that the sales that you're making, the people that you're encountering, it matters. Every single little bitty thing, it matters. Like, it may not feel like it matters. It may not feel like you're doing anything, or maybe you feel like you're on cloud 27 out of 9. Maybe you feel like you are just absolutely rocking it and you're crushing it. So I do want to hear from y'all. I don't know how long y'all's talk usually goes, Chris. So stop me if we're over time or whatever.
No, not at all. We usually try to keep it at about 30 minutes or so, just because, but it's set up to go for however. And one of the things that, like, I know with Stacey, the best way we talk is just to talk, and we just kind of, she is right kind of I mean, it's a little bit different because it's all her. I mean, she's setting up this gym and she's getting new clients. And so when we were talking about how emotional it is, and with Beachbody, it's the same way. I mean, it's so much, we try not to focus on the negative, but there's so much rejection that comes with it. I mean, you're putting yourself out there to help people, and you really want to help people, and they shoot you down with quick fixes and wraps and all this stuff when they don't want to put the work into it, and how draining that is sometimes. And I think at this time of year with the holidays coming up, people are looking more for a quick fix than an actual healthy option lifestyle change. And that can be discouraging. And so that's kind of what Stacey and I were bouncing off with, as far as like being, it can be draining sometimes. And she just filled me up with the talking. I mean, she's such a spiritual person, and she is so just solid in who she is and what she believes, and how she approaches people, that it made me feel good just to be around someone that was so secure in themselves. And I know you have insecurity.
Oh yeah,
I know you do.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, I could do this because Stacey's doing it. We're in the same boat. We're doing this together.
Yes.
And
absolutely. The biggest lie, I don't know how many of you are Christians or how many of you believe in God, but he's literally the only thing that gets me through a day, moment by moment. And so there is an actual enemy, right? And so anything like that you're not good enough, or that all these people are, against you or whatever, that is the biggest lie, or that you're alone. The fact that you're alone is the biggest lie and the biggest throw off that the enemy can throw at you. You're not. The fact that you're not, look at this amazing group. Like, the fact that y'all have each other, that's a solid, same things. You've got the same heart behind it, you've got the same challenges and the same motivations even, like the fact that y'all are in this together is a front, it's like a front alignment team. Y'all are like on the front lines with each other, and I think it's awesome that y'all have these calls and stuff, because you're not holding each other accountable. You're holding each other's hand. I feel like, like you're like, I got you. My arm is wrapped around you. I'm not trying to point my finger at you. My arm is literally around you. We are in this together, and I will hug you tight and wipe your tears and probably cry with you, because we're all in this together, and we want to, you do want to make money. I mean, you have to make money to live, and then you want to help people. And so what I hear you saying, Chris, is that a lot of the struggle right now is being okay with the no, and kind of how to not feel like it's a rejection towards you and yourself, or even what you believe in, right? Because if you believe in this and then somebody's turning you down, like, well, what you believe in is not good enough, is what it feels like, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah. And
that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And it's, and with you getting yours off the ground also, it's a hard time of year right now. People aren't focused on it. They're wrapped up in sports. They're wrapped up in school. They're wrapped up in holidays. And, and I think, we kind of have this thing where we go for 100 no's. We kind of make it a contest, like how many no's can you get in a month? Like, the more no's, the better.
That's amazing.
To kind of make it feel better that you're getting all these no's.
I tried it.
I got 2 no's today.
Take that, group.
But still, it beats you down, like at the same time, you're like, would someone just jump on board with me? I promise this is helping you. I promise it's going to change your life. I promise I'll hold your hand. I'll help you. And, it's just kind of, I guess, building yourself up after all that rejection at the end of the day can sometimes be hard.
Okay. I hear what you're saying.
Can I chime in?
Yeah.
I'm about to start crying.
Oh, why? Tell me everything.
A couple tears in here.
Oh.
Yeah, like the first 2 minutes, you got me there.
Yeah, me too. I was watching Lindsay and I was about to start crying. I was like, I'm about to click off of here.
Oh, dang.
Tell me.
Okay, so my thing is, and I think that is that, and I read it, and no disrespect to anyone, but it's like when you're in this and you see the impact, like what you're doing, the outsiders, like they don't see it, they don't feel it, So, and I could say for me, I don't think the no's are hard. Like the people telling me no isn't as hard as like, I guess like the friends and family.
Your family, yeah, the support system.
Yeah, and it's not that they're not discouraging. That, it's not a discouraging thing, but it's not like an encouraging thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, even, I've spoken with other people, it's kind of like the comment, even like we were talking about like school, they're like, well, what are you going to do when you graduate? I'm like, beach body. Like, this is what I'm doing, And everyone's like, well, you can do this. And I'm like, no, I want to do that, And to me, that's tough.
Yeah. When you get a taste of it, you just want everyone to feel it, you just want to share with everyone. And I mean, speaking about Lindsay's family, her mom just celebrated a year of sobriety a couple of weeks ago. On top of health, on top of being healthy, a year of sobriety. And so, I mean, you can't say that you're not changing your family, like.
I think we need Stacey on all our calls. I just want to take her with me.
Oh, y'all are amazing.
I think it's like the mentality, like the thinking, and I just think of that book GoPro because I've liked that one the most and listened to it like 4 times probably. But like people don't think how we're starting to think or how we've started to think about traditional earning wages, and their mind is still in this box of you have to go to college and get a job and stay there and retire from that job. Or maybe not even so much that anymore, they retire from that job, but like that's how you are stable and secure, and how we accept you is by doing those things.
It's safe.
Yeah. And this is like one of those things. Oh, how long will that last?
Yeah. Yep. Maybe they think it's like a phase or, So what I'm hearing is that most of y'all aren't really struggling with the no's outside, but more of the support system that's supposed to have your back and the people that you most of the time rely on or are supporting you and everything. And now you're seeing that you're making this brave decision and you're so proud of yourself. And yet the people that you want to be the proudest of you, it's like the opposite. Or maybe they're passive about it and they don't really say you shouldn't be doing this, but it's more of like they're not as excited as you are about what you're fulfilling dreams within yourself. And you're like, why are you not as excited with me? I'm doing amazing. This is fun and it's awesome. Like, why do you not get it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I can totally accept that, like, because I'm like on the energy scale compared to most people. Normally, I'm on the higher end anyway. So I can accept that someone's not going to be as excited as me about what I'm doing, but I don't know. It's like the blind trust. Like, I'm telling you, I'm so excited about this. You just have to trust me.
Right.
You just have to. I'm telling you, do this. It's going to help me. You love me. You care about me, right? Help me. So
what is that? What do you tell that? Like, what is that help that you say? What is that?
Well, when it comes to like just even selling a challenge pack, like my best friend, I'm like, girlfriend, I wouldn't normally tell people like I'm telling you, and you know that, and I know you can tell me back.
Yeah.
You have got to do this.
Yeah. And it is, and I think, and it goes back to like what Lindsay was saying, like you get a taste of it and you change yourself. I mean, I remember the first round of 21 Day Fix I didn't tell anyone. I woke up butt crack of dawn, 4:30, snuck out of the bedroom, went to the laundry room, had these containers I carried around in my purse for 21 days. And, just did it for me just because I was at a last ditch resort. I mean, I needed something. I was falling off the wagon with 2 kids. I had taken hydroxycut, I had put myself into, I had gotten really sick off of it. It was kind of my last ditch effort. And it changed my entire mindset of what food was. And you want that for everyone. You just want people to be like, quit counting those stupid calories, because the calories aren't where it's at. You need to be eating dense nutrition and the correct portions of it. And for me, it drives me crazy when people don't understand how simple it is to do it. And I mean, I even tell them, I'm like, I'll send you a free meal plan. I'll tell you how to do it for free if you will just do it. And they don't do it. And I'm like, and it's like Lindsay was saying, it's the people closest to you. It's your brother. It's your, it's people that you want to help so bad, and they just won't do it.
And it makes me think of when I first started, I remember talking about how, tell your friends and family about this first. Those are the people who, you need to let know that you're doing this, because they're most likely to support you. And so, of course, I did, but I didn't feel it. I feel more support from people I don't even know sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think sometimes our family makes this safety net because they're afraid we're going to fall, and so they don't want to be part of that fall. So they think they're part of a safety net off to the side that they can catch us, when we really want them to be part of that fall, because we'd rather fall 100 miles an hour flat on our face with our family than have them off to the sideline being like, oh, come here, let me hold you, And I don't think that they get that sometimes. But
I think though, okay, and I'm going to say this because it just hit me in the face. So my mom's a coach, and I totally I'm very protective of her, when she was talking about getting to Emerald, and I'm like, well, hold on, let's think about this, I almost kind of talked her out of it.
Because you don't want her to fail.
Yeah, because I was like, well, really, you need to get to Diamond. So getting just to Emerald, and she was like, well, how am I ever going to get there if I don't get to Emerald? And I'm like, you're right, And so I saw myself, I doing it to my mom, where she was almost me holding her back.
Mm-hmm.
So in a sense, I can kind of see where the other people are coming. It's just out of protection, but
yeah, it's true.
I just saw that. Just saw it.
Aww.
You are something.
Yep.
So what are some ways, okay, so pick one person. So it was your mom. Is there one person maybe that matters the most to you? Maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's your mom, pick one person that you can, maybe, I don't know what they're doing or anything, but that you can start asking them what their dreams are, and what are some ways you can, because maybe they just don't know how to show you. And so how can you show them what you would like to receive? Because you always, and I mean always, reap what you sow. It may not come from that person that you want it to come from, but it will always come back to you. So what are some ways that you could show, pick one person for a week and absolutely just support them, and no matter what crazy, insane dream, be like, what do you dream? And I don't want the dream that you tell people. I want the dream that you haven't told anybody since you were 8, that you actually want to do with your life. What do you dream about? What have you always wanted to do that you've never done? And I mean, I want you to just listen. Absolutely don't say a word, and just listen, and then start pouring in just positives in them, even if you think it is absolutely crazy and it's the dumbest thing you've ever heard in your life. It doesn't matter. I mean, because they're valuable. They're a valuable person. So anything that they feel, anything that they think, it's valuable because they are valuable to you. You know, even if you can't see it, it'll give you a perspective of them as well, you know? And so maybe there's a couple things that you could do for that person that you really want that reassurance from, or just, you know, so how are some ways that you could, it's just something to think about, how are some ways that you could pour into them, you know, and show them the support that you would really like to receive?
I think that's great. I want to know the dream you haven't told anyone.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Or them. Oh!
Everyone. I mean, you know, I just want to know, like, everyone's secret, like.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, the dream, it's the dream that, I mean, it's not even a good dream if it doesn't create some haters, right? It's not
yeah.
even that good of a dream. You got to have a good dream that creates you some haters, that creates a little bit of an uproar, you know, because that's what dreaming is all about. You know, when you have these dreams and you have these goals, it's not even that good of a dream if it doesn't create a little bit of ruckus, you know, like what is that quote about? Some of the best women weren't well behaved. You know, they were a little bit crazy. They did a little bit of crazy stuff, but they were their own person, you know? So asking that other person, let's talk about your dreams. What have you been thinking about? And then be like, and don't tell me the one you tell everybody. I want you to tell me what you haven't told anybody. And you barely even tell yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. What else is going on?
Anyone else?
Go, Lindsay.
just need to pour out our life, or what? What do we need to pour out everything that's going on in our life right
Whatever
now?
you want. Yes, whatever you want to talk about.
But I don't know. Right now, I think we just kind of need, I think more than anything, kind of a being like a reaffirmation that, you know, you're, like you're saying, you're not in this alone. There's
Okay.
not. And sometimes it feels that way, and sometimes it feels like you're going uphill, but
Yeah.
we're all in it together, and we're going to help each other up it. And
Yeah.
Like earlier today, I just got like this excited moment, and I sent Lindsay a message. Like, I'm just so excited. I don't even know how I'm gonna move up. I'm really kind of scared. I don't know. And I think about, like, how am I gonna lead these people? How am I gonna tell someone to go through what I'm going through now, and then watch them get there? You know, I'm not there, but I don't even know. I don't know how I can do it. I don't know. I can't see it. But I mean, I know I have the skills, and I know I have the ability, and I know I'm good, and, you know, like, I got it, but I just don't know how it's going to happen.
you know, when Lindsay went diamond, she was my first diamond, like the first coach that really worked it, and she would text me, and I wouldn't respond for about 5 or 10 minutes, because I would, if I didn't know the question, I had to Google it, because I was she was at that point. But I wouldn't respond because I would craft a response in my notes app. Like, how would I respond to this if I was asking Lindsay, or if I was asking Gabe, if I was asking someone this question, how would I want a response? And so my responses it probably drove her crazy, because I was not like on it. But you just do it, Angelita, and I promise you have it in you, and you have Lindsay, and you have myself, and you have Gabriel, and Christina Delgado, and Becky Brissett, and you have got this amazing team of women to help you through it. All you have to do is start doing it, and we will help you with that snowball, because it snowballs and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But you have an amazing team, an amazing support team to help you through that, and you're going to do great. You just have to start.
I promise you, just like Chris said, like, I would wake up in the middle of the night with, like, and I would just, like, email her or send her a text.
I'll get text.
Or I'd put it in my notes. And then when my alarm went off, like, I'd be like, I'm at least going to wait until, like, 5 o'clock. And, like, that's what you do to me. I wake up every morning, and I have these questions, messages
Aw.
that you are pouring out to me. And I'm like I see it in you. And when you say, how can I do it? You're doing it right now. And how are you going to lead someone else? I tell you, like, I just saw Brooke go like 1 star, and I see her doing all these amazing things. And I'm treating all y'all the same. You know, I mean, it's like y'all are doing it, you know, and your people are going to do it because all you have to do is be there. And like Stacey said, I'm right here. Like, I'm not doing it, you know, you're doing it. I'm just here going, okay, come on. And when you fall behind, I'm like, okay. And when I fall behind, you're there to pull me up, you know? I mean, like, really, like, that's really, I see it. I see it between Brooke and her team. I see it with our team. I see it with Chris's team, you know? It's the people that are, I don't know, it's we're doing it. It's not what we think is the time it should be, but we're doing it. I mean, there's just...
Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah, I definitely feel that support, you know, but I'm just like, I really, it's one of those things you believe in, but you just can't see it until you're there.
Yeah. And I saw today on the You Are a Badass thing, or no, it was I read somewhere, it's like, before someone believes it, they want to see results. Okay? So everyone's like, I'll believe it when I see it. No, you make the results. You believe it, and then you create the results. That's what you got to do, you know?
Yeah.
That's what, yeah.
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 What I just saw, is it Angelina?
Yeah, Angela.
Oh, Angela. Okay, Angela. What I just saw is a leader. Like, the fact that it moves you so much and that you want it so bad and that you want to see it and that you want to promote it, like, that is all aspects of an amazing leader right there. Right there, what I see, the tears, the heart, the scared, the fear, the confusion, the asking questions and stuff. Like, you are it. Like, you're it. You have it in you, you know? Like, you have all of the aspects that you need as a leader, as a woman doing what she needs to do. And you get to be you, whatever that looks like, you know? Like, you get to personalize it. You get to, because it's you and it's genuine, and you always be genuine. And that right there, what you're being right now, those are aspects of an amazing leader, and you will be amazing and are amazing, you know?
And I feel just like you right now. I really do. And my motto right now is slow and steady. It's going way slower than I want it to. And I feel just like you.
Aww.
I really do.
Thanks.
But I promise you, it doesn't matter. And that's something, and Stacey, maybe any feedback and say, I'm like, you know, I told someone today, I was like, am I ever going to be content? You know, like, Angel's looking at me being like, that's awesome. I'm looking at Chris and I'm like, how can I get there? How can I, you know, not a comparison, but it's like,
yeah,
I want more. I know that's a good quality.
Yeah.
But it's also like, I struggle with that because I'm like, why is this not good enough? You know, this is good.
Yeah.
This is good.
Yeah, you have to celebrate those victories. Okay. So what I'm hearing a lot about is there's a lot of fears, and there's a lot of so fears are feelings, right? Feelings sometimes come from aspects on the outside, but our brain is a muscle just like our body. So you have to work out your brain as much as you work out your body. So fears come through like this, and they come in and they out, and oh my gosh, what if this happens and what if that happens? And so they're all legit. Like, everything you're feeling, everything you're thinking, every scared, every time you wake up, every prayer, every tear, everything is valid, and everything is important, and everything is so truth and genuine. And I love how honest everybody's being. So anytime there's a way to not have to let that affect you, though, in the negative. So when you feel yourself plunging down into the deep, dark hole and you want to go climb in bed and never talk to anybody else ever again in your whole entire life, you know? Yeah. and you never want to see anybody, and you just want to rot and have no one talk to you.
It's rare, but it happens.
Yeah. Of course it does. It's normal. That's because you're pouring out your heart and soul, right? And so of course you're going to hit a point where you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm done with everybody. I give up on life. I'm done. So there's a way that you can look at fears. So at feelings, there's fear, there's love, there's anxiety, there's our interpretation, our assumptions. We've got all these things that could be true, could not be true. We don't know. There's worry. Okay. So you take all that and you've got all these things going on and work it out. Like this is all so good because they're all growing you. Okay. They're not just growing your business, but they're growing you as a person from inside. So all the trials that you're going through, all the struggles, all the stress, you get to decide how you want to handle it and how you want to grow as a person. You get to decide. I was listening to this podcast the other day and it was called From Slave Girl to Queen, How to Build Your Queendom. And so you get to decide and one of the things she said was every single day we get to decide if we want to respond as a slave girl or as a queen. And so what does being a queen look like? So I started writing down stuff of like a woman that would, how would I see a queen being, right? How does she handle situations? How does she handle her business? How does she handle herself when she walks into a room? What does that look like? She's not loud. She's not in people's face. She's just a very quiet confidence, right? And so you get to practice that. You get to practice if you want to respond this way to all your fears, or if you want to respond like a freaking queen to all of your freaking fears and just be like, all right, look here. Yes, exactly. All right, all y'all fear. I hear you. They're valid. Every single thing that you're feeling is completely valid because it's absolutely terrifying, or it's frustrating, or it pisses you off, or he's stupid, or whatever. They're absolutely valid, and you love yourself enough to accept that about you, that you're terrified, like out of your freaking mind, and love yourself enough to be like, I'm freaking terrified, and that makes perfect sense why I would be, because this is a terrifying situation. But then I want you to grab it and I want you to stare at it, and I want you to be like, but you don't have to control what I do now. So I accept that I'm a little bit terrified. I accept that this is why I'm terrified, and it makes perfect sense why I'm terrified. But I'm just going to set you over here now because I'm busy and I got stuff to take care of. I've got business to handle, and I've got myself to take care of, and I've got other things to take care of. I don't have time for you right now. I'll deal with you later. And you keep going, and you be like, look, I don't know if and you be honest. You've got people that you're talking with that are, wanting to move up, and you can talk to them and be like, look, I don't know if I'm going to have all the right answers, and I don't know if I'm going to be exactly what you need, but I will be darned if I'm not here for you, and I'm going to be the best dadgum friend you've ever met, and I will do the absolute best that I possibly can because that's who I am as a person, So the tools that you can do are when you start feeling stuff like that, or whenever you feel yourself get hit with something, you get hit with another rejection, or you get hit with your husband being an idiot, or I'm not an idiot, I'm sorry. You get hit with him just not being as great as you wish he would be. That's a little extreme. or whatever. Take a minute and breathe. Go to the bathroom. We all go to the bathroom at some point in the day. Grab your phone and write down why you're ticked off or why you're afraid, and then love yourself. So write it down and then love yourself. Right after that, I want you to tell yourself how amazing you are and why you being afraid is completely fine. And it's perfectly normal and it makes perfect sense. And anybody in this situation would be freaking out just as much as I am right now. And I am not crazy, and I am not a bad leader, and I am not going to fail. I'm not going to fail. You work out that part of your brain because, again, it's a muscle, right? And so you have to work it out to get it stronger. And so you have to work out confidence. Confidence does not come overnight, because cockiness can sometimes people are born with, but a humble confidence about you and just a solidness about you, that's worked out. I mean, that is That is trial and error. That is, this gets thrown at me, and what I can decide to react crazy, or I can decide to react like my queen that I know that I am. Each of us knows that we are a queen, right? Like there is this deep down inside. So we also know that we're a gladiator. We also know that we're a gladiator because if anybody pushes our kid, we're going to come up out of our skin, right? Like if we know, yeah, we know that if anybody tries to attack our kid or our family, what do? Mama bear comes out and we will attack you right back, and don't touch my kid like that, you know? Okay, well, do your fears like that. You would never let anybody talk to your kid the way that sometimes you talk to yourself. Or you would never let anybody talk to your sister like sometimes you talk to yourself. So don't let yourself talk to yourself badly, you know? Come up out of your skin and pull that gladiator out and be like, absolutely not. No, I am not awful. I'm going to be the best dadgum leader this person or anybody's ever seen, you know? Or, yeah, I hear what these people are saying, that, you know what, this might fail. It might, but I am going to go down absolutely fighting like you've never seen. I'm going to go down a winner. And you know what? The belief though, okay, I'm sorry, I'm talking so much, but I have something else to say. So in words, I've been testing this out because I do the trial and error, right? Like I'm not going to talk about something that I don't believe, or I haven't tried, or I'm not just going to regurgitate some tradition that I've heard, or some sermon that I've heard, or some podcast that I've heard, or read a book or whatever. No, I got to test it out because that's how I do. So I think I was telling Chris this. Words are so powerful. I was watching this. There's an experiment done, and they take water and they get sound waves, and the water will actually transform based upon these waves that are coming in. Okay, so all of these sound waves, you can't hear any music, but they have sound waves going out, and water transitions. It moves, it shapes. You can look it up on YouTube. I can send you a link. And it's awesome, right? All right, so then I started getting to thinking about water. I then started thinking about, what are we made up of? What, 70, 80% of water? Our bodies are made up of that, okay? They also did a water experiment that's called the water experiment. Very clever, huh? And the scientists started studying water at the molecular level. So they got bottles of water, and they put hate on one of them and love on another one. On the one that says hate, they put, like Hitler and all these negatives, and they put screamo music around it. And then on the one that said love and happiness and good and all this positive stuff, they put like Beethoven around it, okay? Then they tested them at the molecular level of these things. The one that had the screamo music and hate and all the negative words just written on the bottle and just music playing, the water transformed into this like moldy, destroyed molecule. At the molecular level of this other one that had love and all the positive stuff around it, they turned into these beautiful ice crystals. Okay, so I was thinking about this, and the more I thought about it, and so they did all these different experiments with this. They got like muddy water or swamp water, and they put it down, and they got some monks to pray over it with a good intention. So it wasn't just a prayer; it was a positive intention behind the prayer of actually wanting to heal it. Right? That water started healing. It started changing and transition. Again, you can Google this, you can YouTube it, it's everywhere. And it started going into these beautiful water crystals and healing. And then this other one, they got this moldy water, and they just got somebody to start speaking. It was a prayer, it was still a preacher, but they told him, don't have a good intention, just kind of talk to it. And so he just kind of talked to it. It didn't change. It just stayed the same. So all that to say, all these words and things that you put around you, or even that you tell to yourself, or what people do, they can affect you molecularly. I mean, you can see it, right, in people's faces. You can see when somebody is in love. What do? They're glowing. You can see it in their eyes. When somebody has all this love, or that they're giving love or feeling love, you've got all this positive everything about them. They look youthful, or a pregnant woman. I mean, it's just beautiful, right? And then you can see people who you can tell have had a hard life. It's written all over them. All that to say, I started testing it. I heard about all this, and I was like, all right, well, I might as well give it a go. What's the worst that could happen, right? So I had this really long commute every day. I would drive about an hour and a half one way to my work, and then an hour and a half back. And so I made this decision that I would call my sister because she's a really great listener, and I would just start talking about all this positive stuff and what I want to happen in my life. So one of the things was I wanted a job that I loved, and I started speaking all this stuff. I want a job I love, that they appreciate me. And it wasn't like, I want this. I started saying, I will have this. I will have a job that I love, that I will, that I get to be myself at, that I'm good at, that I get to heal people. I will get to heal people, and I'll get to everything that you believe, right? It's not just power, the whole power of positive thinking or power of speaking. No. You have to want it and believe it, because it has to be the intention behind it. And let me freaking tell you, it actually happened. I'm talking within 2 days. I'm talking 2 days, y'all. Like, I started speaking all this stuff within 2 days. I happened to run into, at this weird happenstance, this the person I'm working for now, and it's been absolutely amazing. I was saying I wanted a boyfriend because I hadn't had a boyfriend in like 3 years because I'm super stubborn. And so like within a week, I meet this amazing, and I listed everything. Like, I want him to be like a man. Like, I want a man, a one that loves being a man. I want a man. I'm telling you, this dude could not be more manly. Like, he loves being a man. And it's been so crazy. Like, just test it. And so speak things into you about what you want, because, like, okay, again, I don't know who all believes in God. And so I'm sorry if I'm like throwing God on you. I don't mean to, but the Bible says, like, ask and you shall receive. That's a freaking promise. Like, he means it. Like, he means it. And not only like asking you shall receive, you have not because you ask not. You've got, like, he wants you to, and then it says to live an abundant life, right? But what it says is, like, I always thought I wanted this, or Christ came to die for me so that you could live and have an abundant life. Okay. There's a scripture that says, I came to give you life and give it more abundantly. There's another scripture that says, I want to give you everything exceedingly above anything you can fathom or imagine. Like, so you start speaking this stuff, right? And so that's everything that you want. And then God promises everything exceedingly above anything more you can fathom or imagine. You're here. This is what you want. And God wants to give you this way the heck up here. But you have to ask for this. And you have to actually ask for it. And the terrifying thing about that is you have to actually ask for what you want. And most of the time we don't want to do that because we don't want to be disappointed. We don't want to hurt. We don't want to lose. We don't want to even put our heart out there enough to say that we want it enough, because even the possibility of the hope of that is terrifying and scary. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So test it. Start testing stuff. Start testing your confidence. Start testing your ability to handle fear. You're going to have fear. It's going to be there. You're going to have insecurities. They're all going to be there, but deciding that this is the type of queendom that you want and the type of queen that you want to be, and you are, and that in deep down inside of you, that woman that you keep seeing, because if you're disappointed in yourself, it's only because you see what you actually want to be. So that doesn't have to come in the future. That can come right now. You can be that right now. You can have that feeling like you want to feel successful. That's a feeling. Feelings don't come from out here. They come from in here. So you get to decide. Be like, all right, today I'm deciding. I have this client who she suffers with insecurities and stuff. She's got a lot going on in her life. And so the other day we were talking and stuff, and I was like, all right, so I have this rubber band. So I just put it around her arm, and I was like, so today I hear a lot of insecurities coming. So today I want you to remind yourself, with this rubber band, this is your confidence. Every time you wear it, I'm confident today. So you get to decide. So today, if you walk into a room and you're like, oh my gosh, that girl's amazing, I look awful compared to her. We always do that. But for today, I think I'm just going to be confident with myself. I was like, just practice it. Practice being confident. Practice being who you want to be. Practice loving people even when they don't support you. Practice pouring in. It's just all practice. We're not going to get it perfect. We're not going to be excellent. And then you're going to be like, okay, well, just taking notes. Like, you know what? I didn't really do that great today on my confidence. I'm going to try again tomorrow. Or I didn't do, whatever you're struggling with. Everybody has struggles or aspirations or everything. So there's my spill.
I love it, love it, love it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
For real.
And y'all can, like, I want y'all to know, like, you can always call me or Facebook message me or anything. Like, I've got tons of these tools and stuff of like dreaming sessions that I take people through so like with life coaching, it's like basically helping you project manage your life. So I would walk a lot of the people, like, so with the oil and gas industry, you walk in there and these guys, these VPs and stuff, they're just as human as everybody. You know, most of the time I walk in and they're this raging tyrant, angry. And so I walk in and so we have to find out why you're so angry. Well, my team is this, and I can't do this. And you find out when you start asking a little bit more questions, oh my gosh, you actually are just going through a divorce right now and you're miserable. And so that's why you're feeling all these feelings, and it's completely understandable. And let's get that out, you know, like let's get that. So if you like call me, message me anytime, like I've got so many tools that I was taught because I needed them. Oh my gosh, I was a nightmare. Like I was such an emotional nightmare. I was such a brat, just an absolute brat. I'm going to tear up because it was awful. And you don't know what you don't know. I mean, so I was insecure and everything was always against me. And if this person didn't like me, I could just cut you out like nobody. I mean, you are done. You are nobody to me anymore. I could cut you out. If you didn't do it my way, I mean, just such a brat and insecure and stuff. And so all of this has just absolutely changed my life. And so I know what it's like to be in a place of like, you know, how you're just feeling terrified and aren't really sure how to get out of it, or maybe even depressed. I was so depressed for like a year. I mean, I was deepest, darkest depression. Like I had to look up and see rock bottom, you know? And then when I finally got to rock bottom, I just laid there for a minute for like another year. I just wanted to lay on the bottom for a second before I tried to even stand up. So I am definitely here to help, or anything I can do. Like you'll never bother me. It's never bother. It's literally what I was born to do, is help people, you know, or listen. I mean, I may not have any advice or anything, but I can absolutely listen, you know? So anyway.
No, I think it was amazing, Stacey. Absolutely amazing. And I just love listening to you talk. I mean, you can just feel the passion in your words, you know? Like, I don't care if you're reading Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Do it. Because it feels
Totally.
like the best part ever.
That's so funny. How I wonder. Whatever.
But I'm just so glad that you shared your heart with us and your time. And I just think you're an amazing person, period. And I'm looking forward to sharing this with the people that weren't able to make it tonight, and just have them, you know, have it on in the background and just listen to it on their way to work, and, you know, when they're doing dishes and laundry and stuff, and just kind of reaffirming everything and knowing that, you know, I really enjoyed talking to you because I wanted someone who was not Beachbody. You know, I wanted someone who like just had a different outlook on it, and who didn't, you know, I mean, like it's the same frustrations, it's the same thing with starting a business, but you hear so many Beachbody coaches that sometimes it gets a little repetitive, and so I just wanted someone completely different that no one really knew, that no one, you know, I said this name and people were like, what? And I was like, yeah, she's going to be perfect, I promise.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored to be part of and talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. All right. And in true narcissistic fashion, we have to take a selfie. So,
ugly crying.
Yeah, okay. So real fast. Okay, I'll count to 3. 1, 2, 3, cheese. Got it. All right. Thank you so much.
Y'all are amazing. Keep doing amazing.
You are amazing.
Yeah, you're amazing.
Thank you.
All right. Good night, y'all. Bye.